Alright, the story that I just shared from the Sun newspaper, which I didn't like sharing because it's the Sun, but Roger Ibrahim Anderson is a convicted terrorist who's currently out on licence for being a terrorist. Okay? Now this is why it winds me up, because Roger is his name, he calls himself Ibrahim now, is a ginger jihadi. He's from my hometown of Luton. I grew up with the kid. He was a little trampy car thief, yeah? Converted to Islam in jail, took a load of steroids, stuck injections up his arse and started thinking he's a terrorist gangster. When the reality is he's a ginger coward convert, yeah? And he couldn't do his prison time. That's why he converted. That's the reality of it, yeah? And he walks around thinking he's... But he is under Bedfordshire probation. I went to jail in 2014 for mortgage fraud, for paper irregularities. No one lost a penny, okay, for bullshit. I went to jail. I come out, I had to deal with a lady called Sue Beaumont at Bedfordshire probation. I had all of these conditions to do with my politics for a mortgage fraud. I was recalled to prison. That's what winds me up. It pisses me off. I was recalled to prison where I was beaten again, yeah? But I was recalled to prison because someone wrote a tweet saying they were looking for me and they were going to rape my mother. They were in Luton. I replied saying, don't look for me, I'll meet you here. And I give them a location to meet me. I turned up to probation the next day and Sue Beaumont, the counter-terrorism lead, recalled me to prison. This newspaper story is about a convicted terrorist, like the one who went on a killing spree last week, a convicted terrorist who's been let out halfway through his sentence, who is then publishing pictures of prayer mats with machine guns on, saying, remember the Mujahideen, the Islamic jihadi fighters. Bedfordshire probation, why are you not recalling him to jail? Why is he not in prison? In fact, why is he fucking out in the first place? He's a terrorist. He's not just out, he's walking around my town. He's walking around my town whilst publishing pictures of machine guns on prayer mats, probably inciting more terrorism. Yet you pulled me in. You recalled me for nothing. The hypocrisy in the two levels are unbelievable. It's so frustrating. I read these stories and I just think, what? I couldn't even boo. I couldn't go to my mate's funeral because I had a condition not to be near anyone in the EDL. So I couldn't go to my mate's funeral, but this ginger jihadi terrorist can publish pictures of machine guns talking about holy war. Sue Beaumont, that was my probation officer's name, who recalled me. Sue Beaumont. What are you doing about Roger? Absolute joke of a system. A joke of a country. A country that allows jihadis. You know that man that went on a killing spree the other week? Okay? We're at war. He's fighting for the other side. When we're at war with the Nazis, would you let the prisoners of war out to walk around our streets to monitor them until they kill? No, you wouldn't. The political correctness and the weakness in our society now, in our leadership, the cowardice. These men have sworn allegiance to a foreign fight against us, to an ideology that wants war with every one of us. He didn't show any remorse. He got 8 years. He served 8 years for one of the biggest terror plots in our country's history. He'd come out of jail after 8 years. I've got mates in prison serving more than 8 years for fights or for drugs. What is going on? And then you let him out. They're in jail getting more radicalised. And then you let them out. You let them out to walk the streets and murder and kill us and target us. It's an absolute disgrace. The whole thing, I know I'm going to pop a blood vessel here. It just winds me up. I just think, how? How? And then, whilst I'm on a little rant, I'm going to go on another rant. I've seen all these people going on about my new documentary in Zionism. All the people shouting this, yeah? What do you do? What do you do for the cause? Other than sit behind your shitty little computer. What do you actually do? Other than poison nationalism. Other than make our job harder. What do you do? Because they're all saying, oh, look, millions of pounds in donations to make a documentary about Israel. It's not a documentary about Israel. I haven't had millions of pounds in donations. Where'd that come from? Okay. And why hasn't he made a documentary about grooming victims yet? I'll explain why, shall I? Because I was facing jail. Now, facing jail for me is a matter of life and death. I was facing jail, you wasn't, because you just sit behind your computer. I was facing jail, it's a matter between life and death. Am I going to disappear for 3 weeks to live in a town, start a documentary on grooming, when I'm probably going to jail for a while? Am I going to upset those victims and tell them I'm going to tell their story when I'm going to be taken off the streets? No, I'm not. But I don't like being inactive. So in that 6 to 8 weeks from my court case, I thought I'd publish my other documentary, which is about a British man called Yisrael Shalom. A British man who was persecuted to death. Okay? Now, he happened to be Jewish. Yes. The reason he was targeted is because he was Jewish. Yes. But that same supremacist ideology that promotes hatred and intolerance against him promotes it against every one of us that's non-Muslims. Okay? Now, this documentary tells his story. Because one of the last people he messaged before he died was me. Relying on me as a friend to tell his story and highlight his problem. Whilst you all sit there saying, this is a disgrace. The only disgrace is you. People who think that this whole country has to be white. People that don't believe non-white people can be proud of this country. You're the disgrace. And not just a disgrace, you're lazy bastards as well. Because all you do is sit behind your computer. So in the next 12 months, whilst you're moaning about me, in the next 12 months, I'm going to publish 4 blockbuster documentaries. Okay? That are going to bring more people, even with the censorship I face. I'm going to do more than any one of you could even dream of. Okay? So sit behind your computer, moaning about Jews, all you like. Okay? Because I'm going to crack on highlighting issues whilst you cowards sit there pressing Control, Alt and Delete. You absolute morons. Have a good day, everybody, yeah? Rant over. And another thing, I was trying to get this documentary out before Wednesday, before the election. It's going to be impossible. We can't get it edited quick enough. And I don't want to take any of the... It's going to be a powerful story. And I owe it to Yisrael, I owe it to his family who have been working with us on this documentary now, to tell the story to its full potential. So I'm not going to rush it. It's going to be finished very soon. Have a good day, everyone, apart from all you little shill Jew haters, fucking wankers, man.